Why, hello again, booksters. It's Angela, and today I am here to do a book haul. This book haul is going to be rather big. I've accumulated quite a few books since my last book haul, and I know I'm leaving some out. I just can't remember everything I've purchased, but this is going to be my discount book haul. A lot of these books I got from Goodwill or my library book sale, which was this past week, and I'm super excited about all of them. That being said, I'm officially out of room for books. Unless I want to get really creative, I've already had to a little bit, and most of my closet is dominated by books. I can always find a space for a few more, but I would be really pushing it. I have several books to show you guys today, and will definitely not be going into a description about each one. That being said, let this book haul begin. The first book I picked up at a discount bookstore downtown. Unfortunately, it was one of the few that were not discounted, and I did not know that until the cashier rang me out and got quite a shock. But I've been meaning to pick this book up for quite some time, and that is On the Road by Jack Kerouac. This story was inspired by Jack Kerouac's adventures with Neil Cassidy, even though the cashier at this bookstore said that some things have been fabricated. I really don't know too much else about this, but I've heard really good things about it and heard that it sparks this passion to travel. It's referenced in pop culture quite a bit and has inspired several generations to have their own road adventure. The next book I picked up at Target, where they always do the 20% off books, and that would be The Heiresses by Sarah Shepard. Yes, another Sarah Shepard book. I was very cautious going into this book. Sarah Shepard is the author of Pretty Little Liars and The Lying Game. They are both YA mystery series, both very much alike. She also recently released The Perfectionist and Good Girls, also more YA mystery novels, which follow a lot of the same themes. This book, however, is an adult fiction. And yes, it does have very similar elements to Pretty Little Liars. It follows the story of four cousins who are heiresses to a diamond fortune. And like any Sarah Shepard book, there is a mystery surrounding it. One of the cousins apparently commits suicide, but the other girls discover that things might not be what they seem. And they have to discover if there is a killer on the loose and who it is. Overall, I did enjoy this. I did not actually open this book. I listened to it on audio, and I would give it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. I did enjoy reading an adult novel from Sarah Shepard, but typical to Sarah Shepard, she left it open-ended for a second book, and it was very similar to her other books. I would really enjoy seeing something completely different from Sarah Shepard, but I do understand write what you know. From Goodwill, I picked up The Queen's Dressmaker by Christine Trent, The Blue Bistro by Ellen Hildebrand, Clockwork Angel by Cassandra Clare, which I still have not read this, or the Mortal Instruments series, Accomplice by Ariane Corrigan. I've Got Your Number by Sophie Kinsella, Cloud Atlas by David Mitchell, The River King by Alice Hoffman, and The Truth About Forever by Sarah Dessen, and this will be my first Sarah Dessen novel. If you have any good Sarah Dessen recommendations, please leave them down in the comments below. If you have read and enjoyed this one, let me know as well. And the last thing I picked up from Goodwill, which I've heard countless people rave on, is One Day by David Nichols, which has also been made into a film, and I did not know this, featuring Jim Sturgis and Anne Hathaway. And I love Jim Sturgis ever since I saw him in Across the Universe, which is a great movie that utilizes Beatles songs to tell a story. Next up, we're moving on to the books that I picked up from my library book sale. And these were all super cheap. I think I walked away spending $12 on these books, so that was a steal for me. But the first thing I picked up was Delirium by Lauren Oliver. I've heard mixed reviews on this series. I want to try it out and see if I enjoy it. And every time I went to the library looking for this book in particular, it always seemed checked out. So when I saw it, I just snatched it up and put it in my bag. I also picked up Wild by Cheryl Strayed. I've heard mixed things about this book. It is a very mature book. However, the plot of this book does intrigue me, and I want to see how it goes. Another book that I picked up that seemed really interesting and I have heard nothing about would be Dustlands by Moira Young. And I'm just going to read the back to you guys because I'm really excited about this one. To escape, she will have to fight. To survive, she will have to lead. Saba's world is shattered when her twin brother Lug is captured by 4 cloaked horsemen. Determined to rescue him, Saba sets off into the lawless, wasted landscape left behind by the wreckers. It's a brutal world where Saba discovers some surprising things about herself. She's a fierce fighter, a cunning opponent, and above all, an unbeatable survivor. Teamed up with a handsome daredevil named Jack and a gang of girl warriors called the Freehawks, Saba is off to save her brother and maybe her whole world. And it seemed really interesting. It also seems like there's going to be more books in this series, so I can't wait to finish and see if there are. The next thing I picked up is All Fall Down by Jennifer Weiner. I've seen a few mentions of this book, and I've been intrigued from what I've heard about, but I was also intrigued because this is closely similar to the title for my novel that I'm working on, which is called And They All Fall Down. So not very original on my part, but that was the first thing I thought of, kind of like 10 Little Indians. So yeah, I really want to read this. The next thing is The Company of Strangers by Robert Wilson. I know nothing about this book, but I saw the swastika, and I love World War II. I am a major World War II history buff, in case you didn't know, random fact about Angela. And I knew that chances are I would really enjoy it. Following that, we also have Lifeguard by James Patterson and Andrew Gross. I do enjoy James Patterson novels because the chapters are super short, and I'm the type of person that does not like putting a book down between chapters. I like to get to the end. So it's really convenient to read James Patterson, especially if I'm super busy with something. But also he writes one of my favorite genres, which is the mystery. And while some of them can be predictable, others I really enjoy, and I just enjoy reading him in general. So if you have any good James Patterson recommendations, leave them down below. I've read a lot, but I still haven't finished them all. So any advice on where to go next or a book that you guys really enjoyed, feel free to share. I also picked up Warning by Stephen White. They had a lot of Stephen White novels there, and from what I gather, they all follow the story of a man called Alan Gregory, I believe. And this is not the first book in the series. So I was hesitant to pick it up. They did not have the first book. I looked. I'm the type of person that if it's a series, I really get hesitant jumping in. If a TV show's on and I miss the first 10 minutes, I'm like, no, I don't want to watch it, because then I'll be asking questions and I'll be lost. Kind of like books, where if it's not the first one in a series, I'm hesitant. However, certain James Patterson novels you can read out of sequence, so I'm hoping that this is along the same lines of that and I won't be lost. And the last book I picked up from the library book sale would be Big Little Lies by Leanne Moriarty. I really enjoyed The Husband's Secret. I have another one of her books. I'm just not sure what it is. I haven't read it yet, but I really enjoy her writing style, and this seems amazing as well. However, when I was reading the description, it seemed similar to The Husband's Secret, with it following a few different women, but hopefully I'm wrong and it goes on a completely different path, and I cannot wait to see. And the last two books featured in this book haul both came from Barnes & Noble. I have to be honest with you guys, the first one was a complete cover buy for me, and then I read the description and was sold even more, and it is Ember Island by Kimberly Freeman. Look at it, it's so pretty, and it's so shiny, see? Oh, it's so shiny. And you can see it was a discount book, obviously. But to give you guys a little sneaky peeky of what this one is about, I will read the description for you now. To start a new life, look to the past. In 1891, Tilly Kirkland is reeling with shock and guilt after her tempestuous marriage ends in horrific circumstances. Fleeing to the farthest place she knows, Tilly takes a job on Ember Island in Moreton Bay, Australia, where she becomes the governess to the prison superintendent's precocious young daughter, Nell. Tilly knows she must keep the past hidden in order to start a new life, but she doesn't know that Nell is watching her every move and writing it all down, hiding tiny journals all over their rambling manor home. More than 100 years later, best-selling novelist Nina Jones is struggling to complete her next book. A reporter asking questions about her great-grandmother sends Nina retreating to her family's home on Ember Island, where she hopes to find her lost inspiration somewhere in the crumbling walls. Though they are separated by years, both Tilly and Nina must learn that some secrets never stay buried, but what matters most is learning to trust your heart. And the last book I picked up at the Barnes & Noble, to no one's shock and amazement, would be the fully illustrated edition of Harry Potter. No, this was not a bargain, but I am including it in this video because I was so excited when I got it. I was flipping out over it. I should have ordered it on Amazon, to be honest. And I'm probably not going to make that mistake again. But I don't regret it because I knew I was getting it, and I had to have it, and Amazon was sold out, so give me a break. But here it is, you guys. The fully illustrated edition of Harry Potter. Look at the Dursleys. Aren't they awesome? Look, Dudley as a little bumblebee. These illustrations are amazing. I have started rereading this, but before that, I just kind of flipped through it, and I'm just wowed. And I am just in awe of Jim Kay's illustrations. You have Diagon Alley, the Hogwarts Express, and this beautiful picture of the Quidditch field with Hogwarts in the background. I'm so sad that I have to wait a year for this second one to come out. I feel like I did all those years ago when I was waiting on the next Harry Potter novel to come out, and that is an amazing feeling to get back in your life. So guys, that is all for my bargain book haul. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you've read any of these books, let me know down in the comments below what you thought of them. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. If you've liked this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up, and I will see you next time. Bye!